Wesley Graves, Book 2, The 4 Points Outdoor Secret, by Jake Griffus. Chapter 2, Back to Ordinary. The school bus pulled up in front of Wesley's house. His shoulders dropped. Another day of school. Everything seemed so boring after what happened a month ago. He didn't even bother to tighten his tie. It dangled loosely on his collar. His hair was messed up as usual, but he didn't even try this time. No hairspray, no comb, no attempt at all. He didn't see the point in it. What was he going to investigate now that the messengers and the unseen were taken care of? "Are you coming or not?" the bus driver asked. "I can't leave the door open all morning. It's getting cold out." Wesley put all of his effort into his laggard feet and passively stepped into the bus. He found his seat near the middle and stared out the window. As he sat down, the other children got up and moved to another, further away seat. There were rumors at school. People were saying that he was the cause for the crop circles on the football field, and that he was crazy with all of his wild ideas about aliens. Wesley didn't have many friends, but now even people he didn't even know were rejecting him. He wasn't crazy. He knew what happened, but he just couldn't tell anyone. It was like having a cure for a terrible disease and not being able to tell anyone about it. He would have been showered with admiration if they knew what he knew and what he did to help save them all, but it was just a secret that he would never be able to tell anyone. The nightmare he had last night was a final remainder of what happened to him during the one time that he really felt like a paranormal investigator. Now nothing seemed exciting. It was all bland, just like the gray clouds that hung in the sky or the brown fields that zipped by as the bus drove down the road. They were stripped of green, just like his life, stripped of excitement. He continued to stare out the window. With each passing block, he wondered if anything would happen at school. He hoped that there would be something to investigate. His mind flooded with the paranormal thoughts of a giant spider infestation or a computer virus with a mind of its own, or maybe even the possibility of a ghost haunting in the school library. Anything. The bus hissed to a stop as it pulled up to the school. The students crashed and bumped into each other as they made their way down the narrow aisle. Wesley waited until it was safe to get up. He followed the rest out into the courtyard and looked up at the large clock tower. He imagined the clock hand stopping and turning backward. That would be something to investigate. When the minute hand advanced to the next number, he looked back down toward the school. Just another day. Back to ordinary. Wesley found it strange that no one had even mentioned the fact that they all woke up in the football field. He figured that the town police department would have at least investigated the missing time the students claimed to have experienced. But they didn't. Not one single report. According to Principal Harper, the students experienced temporary memory loss due to the food poisoning which was caused by Mrs. Chambly's tuna surprise. He personally brought every student into his office and explained the entire situation. There were some who even claimed that they never even had the tuna surprise. But Principal Harper convinced each and every one of them. Eric, Colin, and Wesley knew better. But rather than cause more confusion, they kept the entire story to themselves. They didn't want to look like a bunch of crazy kids who inevitably would be carried off by men in white jackets. The three of them acted as if nothing had even happened. The slightest mention of the subject would be abruptly halted by a quick hush and the shake of the head which would indicate that they were to never mention the event to anyone. Wesley unloaded his belongings and his new briefcase into his locker. He noticed Liz doing the same. She didn't say anything. She simply put her things away and acted as though Wesley wasn't even there. He almost finished when he heard Liz sigh with frustration. "Wesley," she said softly, I just want to say..." Wesley's heart beat wildly. He wondered if this was it, the moment when she would finally say that she liked him too. Then he could tell her about his secret life as a paranormal investigator and that he had liked her this entire time. He knew that if she just knew about Zethra and Erg, the messengers and the unseen, then maybe she would have understood everything. In preparation for what she might say, Wesley looked into his locker mirror. adjusted his tie, and tried to groom his messy mat of hair. He slowly peeked around the locker door. She was staring directly into the locker, as if she was upset about something. After a long pause, she finally said, "I just want to say I'm sorry for kicking you off the Weekly Spectre. Everyone should have a chance to express their thoughts in the school paper, and I feel guilty for taking it upon myself to make that decision. Your ideas may be crazy, but I guess they are your own, and I shouldn't judge you for them. Besides, Mr. Filson asked about you the other day. Everyone else said they kind of missed you too." Although it wasn't what he expected, it felt good that he was asked to come back. A wide grin passed over his face as Liz turned around to face him. "It's okay. I don't know what to say. Thank you." He wanted to run down the hall and shout with pure excitement, but he kept his composure. "There's something I want to tell you, too. It has to do with the students and how everyone ended up in the field that night without any memory of what happened. What really happened was... Ahem." Wesley was interrupted by the sound of someone clearing their throat. It sounded like it was coming from the other side of his locker. He shut his door and noticed Eric staring sternly, arms crossed. He was shaking his head to remind Wesley of the secret the three of them promised to keep. "Hey, Liz, I'll catch up with you later, okay?" Wesley said as he returned his focus to Eric. "We all agreed, Wes." Eric's intense stare made Wesley uncomfortable. "Yes, I know, but if we told her, she might be able to help us in the future." "In the future? That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Besides, if it does happen again, maybe we shouldn't get involved." "I was just saying that maybe..." "No, Wesley," Eric interrupted. Wesley was silent. He had never seen Eric act like this before. He didn't want to lose his friend over the matter. "We're still friends, right?" he finally asked. "Yeah, it would take a lot to get rid of me. I just don't want to see anyone make fun of you or anything." Eric lowered his voice to a faint whisper. "We aren't just keeping the secret for us. What if everyone knew about Zethar and Urg? It might just put them in danger too." Wesley agreed and grabbed his books for class. Eric followed him and to their homeroom. "Oh, great. Mr. Sage's science class," Eric groaned when he saw the nameplate on the door. "I guess I won't be getting my nap this morning."